Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Renee Sauter. And today's wisdom from Renee Sauter speaks about your connection to yourself. How do you understand your connection to yourself is the theme today. Sunmuddy, good morning. Danae, good morning. Marsha, good morning. It's awesome seeing you with us again. Hello. Let's get into today's thought. The first thought from Renee Sauter is, the journey to more self-love is often a quiet and long road, one without cheerleaders or confetti. Just you and your strong inner conviction to do things differently. There are both triumphs and failures on this road, and when you truly turn a corner, you will bask in quiet victory, finally feeling the power you once thought was elsewhere. The next thought from Renee Sauter is, helping professionals, therapists, life coaches, healers can greatly assist you in changing your life for the better, but they pale in comparison to the power that's gained from you developing a relationship with yourself. It is you that holds the power for change. Anthony, good evening. Great seeing you, man. The next thought she shares is, this journey of life is about realizing your inherent wholeness. It has nothing to do with perfecting anything. Your connection to yourself is also your connection to the divine. The more you are connected to yourself, the more you are connected to the divine. They are one and the same. And the last thought from Renee Sauter is, loneliness doesn't come from missing someone. It comes from being disconnected from yourself. You get what Renee means with inherent wholeness. She means that there is nothing that you have to first fix, first do, or first prove in order to become whole. There's no level of perfection that you have to first reach in order to become whole. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Accepting your own imperfection is a huge step towards wholeness. Charlene, good morning. Hello, great seeing you. It is natural for any person to spend at least a portion of their lives in opposition to certain aspects of their self. When you have parts of yourself that you dislike, parts you wish didn't exist, parts of you that you've been trying to reject and abandon, it causes a disconnect from yourself. In essence, while you're trying to leave any part of you behind, you cannot be whole. Linda, hello, good morning, it's great seeing you. Becoming more connected with yourself or being more whole requires you to understand, accept, and integrate every aspect of yourself in a healthier way than before. Today's meditation is a very practical exercise that invites you to listen to every inner narrative that speaks from within you. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we will float away together. Let's start with the first few big breaths. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine and lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders and drop your head. In today's meditation, we invite a few of our inner children to come and sit with us. So while you continue your full body breathing, rising with every inhale and falling with every exhale, the example that I'll use today of three of our inner parts is guilt, shame, and fear. A part of you that perhaps sometimes feels guilty. A part of you that perhaps sometimes experiences shame. And a part of you that perhaps sometimes feels scared. You are, of course, welcome to use different examples of whatever it is that you're dealing with right now. Call these inner children closer. Ask them to come and sit with you. In my mind, this always looks like the grade 1 teacher calling the kids to come and sit with her, around her, on the carpet for story time. While you continue your full body breathing, invite them to breathe along with you. See them rise and fall in their own breathing rhythm. And I want to remind you of what was already in the first message before we started. While you are trying to leave any part of you behind, while you're trying to reject or abandon any part of you, you cannot be whole. Wholeness comes from letting go of the idea of perfection and integrating every part of you into the whole. Even having acceptance for the parts of you might not like so much. This doesn't mean not growing and not making the changes we may wish to make, but it means not being at war. Not being at war with any part of you, but holding all of these elements in a new and healthier way. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. And as you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, we're going to focus on our spine. I want you to see if you can tilt your head to the left while you tilt your hips to the right, curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. And then do the same on the other side. Tilt your head to the right and your hips to the left. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we can be, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you can't sit with us for the whole meditation, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, I want you to take a look around these inner children that we have invited. Once again, I'll remind you of what we invited. We invited guilt, we invited shame, and we invited fear. See if you can form an image of what they look like. It's not important that you do have an image, but it's helpful when you open yourself to seeing a visualization of what these parts look like. Take your next big breath. As you take a look at guilt and shame and fear, let them know that you are here to listen. Let them know that you are here to really see them. Let them know that you are here to understand. Take your next big breath. We turn our attention first to guilt, the part of ourselves that perhaps sometimes feels guilty. And we are inviting guilt to speak. We are open to listening. So as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, see if you can form an image of what guilt looks like, and remind yourself of what it feels like when you experience guilt. What are the thoughts that go through your mind? How does your body react to the feeling of guilt? Take your next big breath. I want you to turn towards this part of you, the part of you that sometimes experiences guilt. And I want you to ask this part of you a question. And do it just the way you would ask any other human being a question. Don't use your mind to think of what the answer could be. Ask the question and then also completely let it go. See if an answer arises from a deeper place. So as you turn towards guilt, use these words. Say guilt. In those moments where you have this experience, where you feel so guilty, in those moments, what is it that you are afraid will happen? What is it that you're afraid will happen when you feel so guilty? And then just sit back and listen. If an answer doesn't come, that's perfectly fine. Take your next big breath. Take a moment to say thank you to this part, to guilt. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being seen. We know that that's a difficult thing to do. We'll turn our attention now to the next inner child we invited, shame. A part of you that perhaps sometimes feels shame. We call them our inner children because they live within us. Many of them are our childhood experiences, but sometimes it can be our adult experiences too. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, invite shame to speak. Remind yourself of what it feels like in moments where you feel ashamed. What are the thoughts that you think when you have that experience? And how does your body react to these thoughts? Take your next big breath. Now we'll turn towards this part, the part of us that sometimes experiences shame. And I want you to ask this part of you a question. Can you ask the question and then also just let the question go? And be curious about a possible answer arising. So as you turn towards shame, use these words. Say, shame. When you have that experience, when you feel ashamed, what are the things that you wanted to be different? Or how did you want it to be different? Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank shame for being here, for showing up, for being seen, for being heard. We know that takes courage. And then lastly, we'll turn our attention towards fear, part of you that sometimes experiences fear. When you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, remind yourself of how fear speaks. What are the thoughts that go through your mind when you feel scared? And how does your body react to that? Take your next big breath. And turn towards fear and ask fear this question. Say these words, fear. In those moments where you feel so scared, what is it that you really want for me? What is your deep desire for me? Take your next big breath. Take a moment to thank fear for being seen, for being heard. Thank you for being brave. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. And ask these three inner children where they'd like to be. Would they like to sit closer to you? Would they want to sit on your lap? Would they like to be inside of you? Wherever they'd like to be, have them be there. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel how softness slips in and how softness settles in every fiber of your being. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. Becoming really good at listening to what speaks within you is forming a very deep relationship with yourself. All our emotions, all the parts, the elements that make up our personality, they're always trying to tell us something. They're trying to get our attention. Guilt may be scared of what will happen and trying to get your attention. Shame may have wanted something to really be different and wants you to know this. And fear might want to have a certain outcome happen for you and is scared that that won't happen. When we get better at listening to what speaks within us, then we're not pushing any part of us away. But the deeper question here is, who are you practicing being while you listen? Because if you're listening to guilt, then you're not being guilt. If you're listening to shame, then you're not being that part of you. If you can hold fear and listen to fear, then you're not being scared. Who are you practicing being? And understand that everything we practice, we become better at. You are becoming better at being the strongest part of you. The part of you with arms strong enough to hold all of this in a new way. We could put many labels on it. We could call that your soul, your higher self, your wisdom, or just self. Whatever we want to call it. The more you step into that part of you, the more you'll be able to listen to whatever speaks inside of you without having a fear-based reaction to it. I'll read to you one more time some of the thoughts that Renee Sauter shares with us. She says, "The journey to more self-love is often a quiet and long road, one without cheerleaders or confetti. Just you and your strong inner conviction to do things differently. There are both triumphs and failures on this road, and when you truly turn a corner, you will bask in quiet victory, finally feeling the power that you once thought was elsewhere." She says, "Helping professionals, therapists, life coaches, healers can greatly assist you in changing your life for the better, but they pale in comparison to the power that's gained from you developing a relationship with yourself. It is you that holds the power for change. This journey of life is about realizing your inherent wholeness. It has nothing to do with perfecting anything. And your connection to yourself is also your connection to the divine. The more you are connected to yourself, the more you are connected to the divine. They are one and the same thing. And how could they not be if what you're practicing is being your soul? We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and you are invited to say yours. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to hold these inner children much more comfortably. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to listen to what speaks within me, very much the same way as listening to a friend speak. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having acceptance for how every part of me speaks, allowing them to feel the way they feel. Take a deep breath in. But thank you also for learning who I want behind the wheel. Because listening to an inner child speak, giving them the space to be heard, is not the same as having that inner child behind the wheel. Thank you for getting very clear on this. I can hold an inner child, I can let him speak, and I can be clear. I will have my hands on the wheel, not an inner child. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for bringing your own inner children to the playdate. Michelle, a very good morning. It's great seeing you. Hello. Maggie, good morning. Hello, awesome seeing you. Zani, thank you for popping in. I hope you had a bit of time to sit down with us. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Sunmary. Thank you, Marsha. So good seeing you. Have a beautiful day, beautiful humans. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.